Welcome back. We're now being joined by the Commissioner for Information and Communications in Kogi State, Honorable Kingsley Femi-Fanwo, who joins us via Zoom. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning. This is certainly very heartwarming news to know that amongst the terrorists in Nigeria, we're one number less. We understand that a certain bandit kingpin, Kachala Ibrahim Battijo, has now been eliminated. Do you want to give us details of how this was achieved by the Kogi State government?
Report this to the whole world today. It's a process that took a very long time. Initially, we got an intelligence that he wanted to attack our schools in Kogi State. And while we were working on getting him, we shut down our schools for more than 3 weeks. It was painful, but they were unable to take our children away from the schools. And then we also learned that they were targeting the writing of the West African Secondary School Certificate Examination at a particular school, GSS Iluke, so that they will be able to kidnap all of those students. He was the one coordinating all of those strategies to be able to take those children away. But Kogi State has invested heavily in high-tech intelligence gathering equipment. We were able to monitor all of his activities. We moved our students from that remote place where the school is. The school is about 3 kilometers away from Iluke. They call the place Arara. So we moved it to the heart of Iluke town, and we're monitoring how Battijo was coordinating his people with the support of the military, the DSS, the police, and all of our local security architecture. So on June 10th, he struck. He went to Iluke with this very large number of people. About 40 motorcycles were used to carry about 100 terrorists to that place. They attacked a few number of places, including attempting to take away the students from the school, and it was foiled. They could not take a single student away from the school. Our local security architecture provided the first line of defense, and they were supported by the military to be able to foil that attack, including the police, the DSS, and all of the security forces in Kogi State. So we were in the process, we were able to neutralize Battijo and a good number of terrorists who carried out that operation. It was quite successful. As I speak, more than 15 to 20 bodies have been found of the terrorists. And even yesterday, while security forces went to where he was secretly buried to exhume his body for further examination, more terrorists were neutralized.
Oh, that's certainly very heartwarming to hear that terrorists were neutralized. I'm just a little curious as to how you were able to identify this particular terrorist. How are we so sure that it is him that was neutralized?
Thank you very much. If you listen to the governor's speech, the governor went to Iluke the following day. He traveled all the way from Lokoja to be with the people of Iluke and identify with them, as you can see. The governor said that they knew when Battijo and his gang entered the Kogi forest. We've been monitoring them. They entered since last December. We've been monitoring their activities. There was a place that he set up his camp. He was dislodged from that place. He lost a number of his gang members, but he escaped and went to another place to regroup. So we were monitoring him. We know who Battijo is. And as the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, said, Battijo was one of the most dangerous and most wanted terrorists in Nigeria today. We know his face. We know who he is. We have been monitoring his movement. And I can confirm to you that he was the one that was neutralized in that operation.
You understand when I, ask this question, because you live in Nigeria as I do. And we've heard several times, you know, that one major terrorist will be killed, and then he'll be killed several times over and over again. So I have big questions as to how do we really identify and know when it is that we have eliminated, you know, a major kingpin whom we say we have. Do we have DNA? What exactly do we have? And do we also put it out there for Nigerians to...
That's the reason the governor said he doesn't want to kill Battijo twice. He understands these nuances. He understands how these things work. And that is the reason he has also pushed for the body to be exhumed so that autopsy and further investigations will be done to fully establish the fact that it's true that it was Battijo that was neutralized. We are very confident that he's the one, but we will still subject that to science to confirm. And that is the reason we have taken the decision. We didn't just stop at saying we've neutralized him. We knew that he was secretly buried by the other gang members that survived the bombardment from the Kogi security forces. But we decided that his body should be exhumed, and the further autopsy and examination investigation should be carried out on the body to fully establish it. What we are witnessing in Kogi is massive, and you will see the heavy investment of the state government in ensuring security. We have been able to upgrade our security architecture in such a way that we can deal with issues like this.
Honorable Fanwo, please help us understand what's happened here. There was a shootout. He was killed by the forces. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was killed, and then we left, and then the remaining bandits were able to get his body, and then they buried him. How do you know where he was buried? How do you know that they buried him in a particular place? What's happening here? Help us to understand that little bit there.
Thank you very much. We are dealing with intelligence. Okay. We are dealing with intelligence, and when we give you any information here as to security intelligence in Kogi State, we are speaking from a position of authority because of what we have been able to assemble in terms of our intelligence facility and the reliability and dependability of those facilities. We have been able to gather the fact immediately he was attacked. He tried to leave Iluke. They put him on the motorbike. A good number of them escaped. A good number of them were also neutralized. They left behind more than 9 motorcycles that they could not carry away from Iluke. So when they escaped with his body. He's the kingpin. He's their leader. And, you know, they have a way of dealing with the bodies of their leader. So they went away with his body and secretly buried it. They didn't know that we're also monitoring that. That was the reason we are able to monitor what they were doing, and we're able to neutralize a good number of them again when we went to exhume, because we knew that they thought the place was safe for them. Okay. So they were hiding around that forest where he was buried. So we went there with full force to bombard the place, neutralize a good number of them, and exhume the body for further investigations. Remember that the governor is a forensic auditor. They would want a second check so that they will be very sure. That is what we have done. We want a second check, we want autopsy, we want further investigations to be able to find this out. Even the remaining bandits that escaped again yesterday, we are monitoring them, we are trailing them. We will track them where we know that we can deal with them without recording any civilian casualty. Okay, so it was 2 attacks. The first one neutralized him, they escaped with him, then you followed them to the second location where they buried him, a second attack, and then exhumed his body. Okay, so that clarification was what we needed. I was reading what the NSA said, describing him as one of the most dangerous terrorists operating in the country. And of course, commending your governor for his commitment, courage, and uncompromising resolve to tackling insecurity. And he says this is an example of a collaboration between the state and the federal in the war against insurgency. And we're asking, you know, we've been looking at all the other states in Nigeria that are dealing with this and asking, you know, what kind of collaborations do we have going on? Maybe you could speak to us about the collaboration between the Kogi state government and the federal government that has led to this victory. Thank you very much. I would want to touch on what the federal government is doing, especially under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, it is normal for people to try to weaponize insecurity, especially in times of political activities. But I would say that the president, more than any president since 1999, has invested more in security architecture. And at times, because of flashes of insecurity here and there, we don't want to lose any life in Nigeria. It is his responsibility to protect every life in Nigeria. But he's doing his very best to be able to provide the wherewithal to be able to tackle this insurgency and terrorism that we are facing in Nigeria right now. The president is doing a lot. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, is doing a beautiful job collaborating with states to be able to provide logistics, to be able to mobilize the military to complement whatever the local security architecture of that state is doing. Kogi State is capitalizing seriously on this and making use of this advantage that is being provided under the leadership of Mr. President, the National Security Advisor, the service chiefs. And, most importantly, I also want to commend the collaboration and cooperation of the Inspector General of Police, as well as the Director General of the DSS. Then, Kogi's local security architecture is a very effective one. We have the Kogi State Vigilante Service. Before now, they used to be like an ad hoc security outfit, but now they have been integrated into the civil service. So they could take risks because they know now that they have pensions, they have gratuity, and all of that. That has been able to buoy them up to be able to do more. And then we have the local hunters who understand the terrain and can always provide the first line of defense. What happened in the look at the first line of defense was provided by the local security forces, and they were able to withstand the firepower of those bandits led by Battijo before the military came to be able to support what they were doing. I will tell you that all of the students have been lined up, and more than 80 villagers have been lined up to be kidnapped. They were already shipping them to the bush before the military came to complement the local security architecture, and not a single person was kidnapped in that operation. Unfortunately, because of the gun battle, we lost 3 people, about 2 of them to stray bullet, and it was quite unfortunate. But the story would have been different, assuming you are having 120 people in the forest today, and many of them are dying. So the federal government is doing a lot.
That story would certainly have been different, assuming they had been kidnapped. But I want to quickly ask you about the price, because you did admit that this came at a steep price, which is the fact that Kogi State had to shut down its schools for 3 weeks. Do you want to speak to us about that decision and how it is you intend to bring back confidence in the citizens? Are you going to say, oh, danger is over now, people can go back to school? How confident do you think that they will feel going back to school, hearing news that at some point they were in danger of being kidnapped?
When you take out the leader of a terrorist group, the fear is no longer in the citizens. The fear is in the terrorists. They are afraid. They are looking for a way. The remnants are looking for a way to escape from Kogi State. But just 2 days ago, the governor issued more security protocols, banning the movement of the Okada riders in that part of the state, and also banning night travels. Some markets in the places have been shut. We are cutting their logistics supply. We are blocking it completely. Where some of them are hiding now, we know we are surrounding them with our local security architecture. They can no longer get food. They are no longer getting water. They are no longer getting medication, and many of them are carrying gun wounds. So it is a very serious one for them. So the confidence in the citizens of the state is returning, and they are getting more and more confident by the day. Some of these decisions that the governor had taken was to prevent crime from happening. We cannot be negotiating, and they'll be coming with ridiculous conditions. So what we are doing is to take the fight to them, to attack them, to be on the offensive, and they are on the run. But they cannot even escape.
Citizens are going to see. Just a moment. Are you saying then? Are you suggesting that citizens are going to see what it is that the state government is doing and automatically have
be able to deploy the Kogi model to be able to trap these people and stop them from either moving from Kogi to attack these states or coming through Kogi to attack these states. So Kogi is doing a very great job, and that is why the federal government is interested in what Kogi is doing. And again, I will not stop commending Mr. President. He has made it a personal issue, an issue that he must achieve in ensuring security. He's given us all the necessary support. The National Security Advisor, the service chiefs, the security chiefs, they are all supporting us to be able to achieve this. So what we are doing is not just for Kogi State, but also for our neighboring states.
All right, Mr. Fanwo, we certainly will keep tabs with you on your state. We hope that the situation remains so and even better, that citizens regain full liberties as the situation progresses. We have to thank you very much for speaking with us on Sunrise early this morning. Honorable Kingsley Fanwo is the Commissioner for Information and Communications in Kogi State. Thank you once more for speaking with us.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a lovely day.
Well, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at the ADC and the deregistration matter. Just stay with us.